Hey there, ninjas. Welcome to day 13, Deliver Your Sales Offer. A lot of people get nervous when they hear the word sales or they feel like uncomfortable. I'm not a good salesperson. I never had any experience. That's okay. I'm going to give you a formula. I'm going to show you exactly what to say, how to transition from your workshop, and how to just feel comfortable in your own skin. Let's start with that. Before we get into the order and how to put your offer together and how to make sure that you really wow your crowd, let's just say you don't need to be something you're not, okay? Just be yourself and do the things I ask you to do in your own way, in your own style, okay? Just be honest with your audience. One of the best tools you can use is transparency. If this is your first automated webinar, first webinar you're running at all, you could say, hey guys, this is my first webinar. This is the first time I've ever made a sale on a webinar or made an offer on a webinar. Here it goes. Totally fine. People will appreciate the transparency. Feel comfortable being yourself. It's okay. I'm going to give you exactly what you need to do. So let's get started. So let's pick up from after you've done your workshop. And as I mentioned yesterday, you have done a recap. Here's the recap of what we learned from our 5 steps, 5 parts, whatever you want to call them. Okay. So recap. And now you're going to ask them a very simple question. Would you like to implement title of the webinar with far greater ease? Okay. Title of the webinar is your promise. So if my promise was how to run automated webinars, I could say, would you like to run automated webinars with far greater ease? You just learned all the steps, but how about we make it even easier on you? Okay. This is a question. It's a rhetorical question. It's okay. It gets them thinking, right? So you just say, would you like to implement title of the webinar with far greater ease? If so, as promised, because you said at the top of the webinar in your menu, you're going to be making an offer. As promised, let me show you how my product, and you could state the product. Let me show you how Webinar Ninja. Let me show you how Hoops Made Easy, whatever the product name is, right? Let me show you how Webinar Ninja can do that. Let me show you how my product can do that. Make it easier on you. Implement what we just learned with far greater ease. That's the transition. Would you like to webinar title with far greater ease? If so, as promised, let me show you how Webinar Ninja, my product, Hoops Made Easy, can do that. That's it. Now, what do we do? From that point, we're transitioning into what I call a demo, okay? A demo. We're not selling. We're showing them. One of the best things you can do to sell your product is to demo it, to show it to them. Just like a test drive, right? When you go buy a car, right, you get into the car, at least in the showroom, right? Even if you haven't started the engine, but you want to feel what it's like to own that product before you actually make the purchase. So you want to give them that experience. So whatever you do, whether you sell a course, whether you sell a training that's live, like coaching, whether it's services, whether it's a product, a software, a physical good, whatever it is, show them, don't tell them, okay? And I'll tell you what to show them, okay? So what you need to do here is you're going to demo your product, and this is where most of the 10 minutes of the offer is going to go into, okay? I want you to identify 3 mic drop moments. You know, like a mic drop, it's like, wow, that's amazing. I want you to look at your product. What are the 3 things that wow your customers the most? The 3, you could say, unique features, unique benefits that people love, that rave about, that write about reviews about it, that people have said when you first showed it to them. Wow, that's cool. What are the 3 mic drop moments for your product? I learned this from Dan Martell. It's a great technique because it reduces overwhelm because you're not bombarding them with all these ideas and features and benefits. You're only focusing on the 3 biggest reasons why they should buy. So for example, I know the 3 big reasons why people love Webinar Ninja. So when I do my demo, when I do my sales pitch, right? When I go through this offer, the 3 things I highlight are the 3 things they love the most. Number 1, how easy it is to create a webinar. So I actually create a webinar sharing my screen. So we can share screen with Webinar Ninja. You can share screen if you're recording this externally. And I show my screen how easy it is to create a webinar. It takes 10 seconds, okay? That's my first mic drop moment. They're like, wow, that was quick. The second mic drop moment is, hey, it's all in one. And I show them how easy it is to customize and create their own registration and thank you pages. So cool. Third mic drop moment, people love the email sequences and the follow-ups that we have inside built in. They're like, wow, this is great because I don't have to worry about it. It's all built in. It will go straight to the registrants and the attendees, and it's all set it and forget it. So I show them that because that's another mic drop moment. There's all these other things I can show them, integrations and other features and cloning and all the different kinds of webinar types, paid, free, all that stuff, right? But I want to leave them something to discover on their own when they buy the product, okay? So you need to have those 3 moments when you're showing off your product. Next, you're going to state your offer. This is usually the hardest part for most people, but you can do it. It's not that hard, okay? And I'll show you why. You just need to state the price and what they're getting clearly and transparently. So, for example, you got to state the price and the value. So you got to say, hey, you can get started today for $49 a month with Webinar Ninja. Now, you're not paying anything right now because you're on a free trial for 30 days. But when I do my offer, I say that, hey, you get started for $49 a month, right? If you ran automated webinars and you get automated leads and sales, how much is that valued at, right? $1,000, $5,000, $10,000? I have to show them the value. I got to compare. I got to anchor it to something here. Okay. So in comparison to unlimited leads and sales for my business every month, right? $49 is chump change. It's peanuts, right? So it makes them feel like, wow, what a great value. So you got to do the same thing with your product. State the price and then immediately show them the value. Show them, anchor it to something. So how much would you pay for whatever your product gives them the results? For example, I'm a basketball coach. I'm selling my basketball program. I say, how much would you pay to get somebody to train you to make sure you're ready for those critical moments at the end of the game, to score that, that game-winning shot, to feel confident at the free throw line when it counts, right? You'd pay $5,000, $10,000 for a personal coach. Well, you're not going to pay that. You're going to pay price of the product, $300, $500. In comparison, that is a great deal. That's how you leverage value. So we state the price, we make sure we anchor it with some value, with some comparison, and then we got to state the deadline. What's the deadline for this offer? Remember, this is a webinar. We want to get them to buy now. You want to include the bonuses, what bonuses you're going to be giving, whatever kind of incentive you're actually having for your offer. And we talked about when you craft your offer, how to put that together. So we want to make sure that we have a deadline. So if the deadline is by the end of the webinar, go ahead. If the deadline is in the next 24 hours, that's the deadline. Whatever it is, make sure it's real. Make sure the deadline is real, okay? If you want to give them a coupon code, make sure that coupon code is only valid for the time that you say. Make sure you give them a deadline, okay? So I often on my webinars give them, I do both. I say, hey, here's the offer for the end of the webinar. If you sign up before the end of this webinar, this is the offer. If you sign up within 24 hours, here's the offer. It's a little bit less value, less bonuses, but I give them an alternative offer so I can follow up later on with that. We'll talk about follow-ups later. So your homework for today is that you need to decide your 3 mic drop moments for your demo, for your offer, okay? When you show your product, what are the 3 things that are the best things, the reason why people buy your product, your service? Share that with them, write those down, use the SOP for today, and make sure you rehearse stating your offer and anchoring it to the value, like we mentioned. Just like I said, how much would you pay for unlimited leads and sales? $1,000, $5,000, right? Get comfortable saying it and say, well, you're only going to get started for $49 a month. That's incredible, right? If you anchor it, it's so powerful when you have some sort of anchor. We only work in comparisons. The human brain really can't comprehend what's $49 compared to what, right? So compared to what? So you have to give them something to anchor it to compare it to. All right, so your homework again, you got to decide on your 3 mic drop moments for your product so you can show them off and then rehearse you stating your offer and showing the value by having some sort of comparison, some sort of anchor. Thank you so much. I'm proud of you. Do the homework because we're moving on to new stuff tomorrow. We're going to be building upon everything. So very soon, in about 2 weeks or so, we're going to be launching our automated webinar and we're going to start reaping the benefits of all our hard work. Awesome stuff. I'll see you tomorrow.